Robin Banks, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new to my channel, you will want to hit that subscribe button because this channel is full of tea, drama, story times, and I'm a bitch from Brooklyn. Everybody loves a bitch from Brooklyn, New York, and that's on period. As you can see by the title, this story time is about a traumatic time in my life. I know I'm smiling, but it was very traumatizing at the time. But now when I tell the story, I kind of laugh about it. But I'm thankful that I survived it. I'm grateful to be alive. It's just so silly. Like, when this happened, I was in 5th grade. I believe I was in 5th grade, and I used to walk home from elementary school by myself. So my elementary school was literally around the corner from my house. And at the time, my mom used to work during the day, and my father used to work, and I had a babysitter at the time. So I would walk home from school, and I will be in the house with my babysitter until my mom comes home. And when my mom comes home, I'll ask if I could go outside, chill with my friends on the street, or like go to the park, or whatever the case may be. But I had to come home, do my homework, wait till my mom come home, then go outside and play. So this day I was leaving school, and when I was leaving school, there was a whole bunch of ambulance and cops across the street from my school in front of the deli. So I asked one of my friends from school, like, oh, what's happening over there? Like, why do they have, like, why is the police here? Why is the ambulance here? And they said that someone that was a little girl that was in 4th grade got hit by a car when she was crossing to go to the deli. So I was like, oh my God, somebody got hit by a car. Like, I was so, like, I don't know. At that age, I don't know if I was just a dark person, but at that age, I felt like anytime somebody got hit by a car, they died. So, like, it was in my head that this girl died. I don't know why. But when I went home, I went inside I spoke to my babysitter, like, oh my God, somebody got hit by a car from my school and she died. And my babysitter was like, what? Like, oh my God. Like, feel me? Whole time, the girl ain't even die. She ain't even die. But that's irrelevant to the story. She wasn't dead though. So I called my mom, because every time I came home from school, I would call my mom and let her know I'm home from school, and she'll ask me like, what you ate today, how was school, stuff, till she came home, or what, if I wanted her to bring me food or whatever. So I called my mom, and I was like telling my mom like, oh yeah, this little girl got hit by a car today. And my mom was like, yeah, that's why it's important to pay attention when you're crossing the streets and look both ways and cross at the light. And I'm like, yeah, Mom, I know, I'm not that stupid. Like, that would never happen to me. I'm on the phone with my mom, like, that would never happen to me. I know when to cross, when it's a crossing man. Like, I was telling her, like, it could never happen to me. I was too smart to get hit by a car. So then I was like, hey Mom, can I go outside? And she was like, no, wait till I come home. And I'm like, all right. So then I was chilling in the house with my babysitter. I did my homework, and now I'm just chilling. At the time, I had me and my neighbor was super close. She was older than me. She was already in middle school. I think she was in 7th grade. We're gonna call her Shaniqua. So me and Shaniqua was super cool. She was like 2 years older than me, but we always used to talk on the phone and hang out. She lived down the street from me. So I was on the phone with Shaniqua, and Shaniqua was like, what you doing? Come outside, come outside. I was like, my mom said I can't come outside until she come home from work. And Shaniqua was like, ask your babysitter if you could chill on my porch. We just gonna chill on my porch. Like, we not doing nothing. We just gonna chill on my porch, and you could go inside before your mother come. Feel me? I'm just bored. We just chilling. It's me. Shaniqua was like, it's me, Cara. I'm just giving everybody names. She was like, it's me, Cara, and Ray sitting on my porch. We chilling. Just ask your babysitter. So I know y'all probably thinking like, girl, 5th grade, you was like 10, what you had a babysitter for? But like, somebody had to watch me after school. I couldn't be home by myself. Anyways, I asked my babysitter, like, can I go chill at Shaniqua's house down the street? Like, it's just down the street. And my babysitter was like, call your mother and ask her. I knew my mother was gonna say no, because she just told me I could not go outside till she came back. So I picked up the house phone. I acted like I was calling my mother. I was talking mad loud in front of my babysitter. I was like, Ma, can I go down the street to Shaniqua's house? Yes. Okay. And then I hung up the phone. I was like, she said yes. So my babysitter was like, all right, go, da-da-da. Make sure you pay attention when you cross the street, etc. So now I'm down. So Shaniqua lives across the street and down the block from my house. So now I'm chilling on Shaniqua's porch. It's me, Cara, and Ray, and Shaniqua's little cousin. We all chilling on the porch. So Shaniqua like, I'm hungry, I want some Chinese food. So we was like, order it. So she called to make the order, and she was like, can you deliver it? And the Chinese store was like, oh no, the limit for delivery is $5, and I think she only wanted $1 fries. They was like, no, the limit for delivery is $5, you gotta come get it. So she was like, oh yo, come with me to the Chinese store. I'm like, I don't know, like, I don't know. My mama told me I wasn't even supposed to be outside, so I'm not really trying to go nowhere for real. I'm trying to like stay. And the Chinese store was the opposite direction. So okay, so I live in the middle of the street. Shaniqua lives at the end of this block, and the Chinese store is basically in the opposite direction and across the street. So I was really not trying to do too much, because I know my ass was not even supposed to be outside for real. Like, I really wasn't supposed to be outside. So I'm like, nah, I'm not really trying to. I'm gonna just wait here until you come back. Shaniqua was like, no, come with me, like, your mother is not gonna know. We going right there. I already called the place to order. I just gotta pick up my food. Like, we coming right back. So I'm like, cool. And Cara like, yeah, I gotta go to the 99-cent store anyway. And the 99-cent store is across the street from the Chinese store. So Cara like, I gotta go to the 99-cent store anyway, so let's go. So now we walking. So now we go into the 99-cent store with Cara. Me, Shaniqua, and Cara. We go into the 99-cent store with Cara, and she getting all the stuff she want. And Shaniqua like, while she do this, I'm about to just pick up my food so that we could just be walking back to my house all at one time. So I'm like, all right. So she like, come with me. And I'm like, all right, fuck it, I'm gonna go with you. So now when she says this, like, she's like, come with me, she was a few steps ahead of me. So Shaniqua starts crossing the street, but she's jaywalking, and she gets to, I don't know if it's only New York, but it's a two-way street, and there's yellow lines in the center to separate both directions. So she gets to the yellow line, and I'm still on the curb, cause I don't cross the street. I don't jaywalk. Like, I cross at the light. I don't jaywalk. So I just kept thinking like, I don't jaywalk, and I'm mad scared. I was so scary to jaywalk, because I was like, oh my god, I don't cross the street like this. Like, I don't know how to cross the street like this. And she gets to the double line. She like, come on, bro, what the fuck, is no cars coming. So I got to the double line, and now me and her start crossing to the other half of the street to the Chinese store. Soon as we stepped off the line, a car came out of nowhere and hit us. Like, boom, hit us. And I'm not gonna lie, I found out later on that it's because I was in shock. At the moment I didn't know, but it really did not hurt. I feel like my mind was just all over the place when the car hit me. So I wasn't on the side of the car, I was on the outskirt, and Shaniqua was on the side of the car. So when the car hit us, I heard the boom, and I think I fake little blacked out for 2 seconds. But when I blacked back in, I seen Shaniqua rolling all the way to the top of the car, and then like rolling to the back. And she got up and she ran into the Chinese store, and I was just sitting there like stuck. Like, I just was stuck because I could not believe this was happening to me. And it was a whole bunch of people outside, because this was like in June. It was like towards the end of the school, so it was a whole bunch of people outside, and everybody started crowding the car. Like, all the men from my neighborhood, the teenage boys, they were crowding the car. They was like, oh my god. And the driver came out the car, and she was like frantic. She was like, oh my god, like crying and stuff. But then she got back in the car. So when she got back in the car, everybody that was like saw what was happening started like knocking on her glass and stuff. They was like, get out the car, you hit 2 little girls, get out the car. But I think it's because she was frantic and like anxious. She was just panicked. She just sat back in the car, and I was laying in front of her car, like, because I was in a state of shock. Like, I could not believe this happened to me. I was in a state of shock. I was just laying in front of her car, so she could not go nowhere. And I just heard, yo, black people, one thing about black people, if they see a lawsuit opportunity, they gonna help you out with that check. Because I was laying on the floor, and somebody was like, yeah, that's right, lay on the floor, don't get up, lay right there. But in my head, I was just thinking like, I'm not even supposed to be outside. I don't even know why. This was literally the least of my worries, but all I was worried about is my mother's gonna kill me, because she told me I lied. First of all, I swindled my babysitter, made it seem like my mother knew I was going outside. 2, my mother told me not to go outside because I just gave her the rundown about how somebody got hit by a car, And I literally just bragged to my mother that I could never be that stupid to get hit by a car. And I crossed at the light. And look at me, my dumb ass, getting hit by a car with Shaniqua. And Shaniqua in the Chinese store, and I'm laying on the ground. So I start getting up, and everybody like, lay down, you're bugging, lay down, are you okay? Like, lay on the floor, do not get up. We're gonna call an ambulance. When I heard ambulance, my dumb ass is like, oh my God, what the fuck? Like, no, they're gonna take me to the hospital. I'm gonna get in trouble. I was so stupid because now I know that if I would have just like laid there, went to the hospital, my mom would have never been upset at me going outside, because I was in danger. At the end of the day, I got hit by a car. I was injured. So me going outside would be the least of her worries. She would be more concerned about my health and making sure I'm okay. But I was stupid as hell, so I was just trying to get back home to make it seem like this didn't happen. So once I got up, 2 ladies that lived on my street helped me up. It was an older lady and her daughter. They were coming out the laundromat when it happened, and they helped me up. And once they helped me up, the driver skirted off. So somebody was yelling, get her license plate, get her license plate. And like everybody was, at the time, this is not a time that everybody had like smartphones and stuff like this. I think people had razors. So people were trying to take pictures of her license plate and stuff when she sped off. And the 2 women that helped me, they were asking me like, yo, where do you live? Do you want to wait for the ambulance? We'll take you to the hospital. Or do you want us to take you home? We could tell your parents, like, what's your mother number? I was not trying to give my mother number up for nothing. They was like, we're gonna take you home, or we're gonna take you to the hospital. What is your name? Do you have ID on you? Mind you, I was not prepared for like what was happening. I didn't think it would happen to me, because I really thought I was just gonna be chilling on the porch. I had on a little shorts, a polo shirt, Chinese slippers. Like, I was not, at this moment, I don't even think I owned an ID. I was like 11. So they kept trying to ask me my name, and I was just like so in shock. I was not responding. And they was like, where do you live? We could take you home. And I'm just like, my friend, like, I'm with my friend. Mind you, Cara came out the 99-cent store at this time. She came across, she's like, what happened? Y'all good? I heard they said y'all got hit by a car. Like, what's happening? And I was just like, I gotta get my friend Shaniqua. So we went in the Chinese store. Shaniqua's arm is just dangling, like, literally, it's dangling out her shoulder. Like, it was dislocated. And that traumatized me more. But mind you, at this age, I weighed like 90 pounds soaking wet, if that. I was really, really skinny. For majority of my life, I was super, super, super skinny. So like, I was just shocked that I didn't have any broken bones. I didn't feel injured. I had a couple cuts and bruises. I didn't feel injured at all. But I was super traumatized seeing Shaniqua's arm hang off. And that just made me feel like my whole body got numb, because I'm like, oh my God. Like, remember I told you guys earlier, I assumed when you got hit by a car, you die. Like, I don't know why. I just assumed that when you get hit by a car, you're like, you can't survive that. So I started getting paranoid. I'm like, am I alive? Because like, nothing's wrong with me. Her arm is dangling off. I don't know. I was just panicking. And the ladies was like, where do you live? And my friend Cara was like, she lives right here on this street, and I'm gonna walk out to her house. And they was like, can you walk? And I'm like, yeah, I could walk. I don't even know how I was even doing all of this, like, while this was happening. Everything happened so fast. So they walked me home, and this story is so dumb. Like, this, I laugh about it now, but it's just so dumb. So they walked me home, and they're like, we need to speak to your mom or something so they can take you to the hospital, because you just got hit by a car. Something could be wrong with you. You could have internal bleeding. Like, your body's still in shock, so you probably don't feel any pain or feel like anything's wrong with you, but something could be wrong. You need to get checked out right away. And I'm just, I don't know what I told them, but I basically was begging them to not, like, just to leave. Like, please, I'm gonna tell my mom. Yeah, you're right, I'm gonna tell my mom, but I don't need you guys to tell my mom. Like, so they got to a point where they just end up leaving me on my porch. But I promise you, I pleaded with them for like 30 minutes to leave, because I did not want them to tell my babysitter that I got hit by a car, because I thought if they told my babysitter would tell my mom. And I'm still thinking that if my mom knew, I would have gotten in trouble. So dumb, just so dumb. So anyways, I just go, I take a shower, like I just continue on like my day was regular. I took a shower and I laid back in the bed. I took a nap and I took a nap. And at this time, I think we was me and Shanika, we would call each other on the house phone, or like on we was writing each other on MySpace. It was one or the other, but I remember me and her communicating, and she was like, yo, meet me in the alley. So there's an alley that we used to hang out in as kids behind my house. So she was like, yo, meet me in the alley. So I met her in the alley, and like, bro, she had a hoodie on so she could hide her arm. And she was like, listen, don't tell your mom, because your mom is going to tell my mom, and I don't want my mom to know, because I wasn't supposed to be off the porch. We were so dumb. Like, we were so dumb. She's like, I don't want my mom to know, because I wasn't even supposed to be off the porch. I don't want nobody to tell my mom. We just not going to tell our parents. Or she's like, are you okay? So I'm like, girl, what are you going to do about your arm? She was like, my cousin, I showed my older cousin, because she had some older boy cousins. They were like 17 at the time. She was like, oh, I showed my boy cousin. He said he could pop it back in for me. I'm like, what the? All right, whatever. So we thought that we was going to have this plan that we was not going to tell our parents. It's going to be our secret that we got hit by a car. Then I went back inside. I laid my ass down and I tried to take a nap, but it was just the trauma. Like, it just, when you go through something traumatic, this, I don't know, I can't speak for everyone, but all the traumatic experiences I've had in my life, anytime I go through something traumatic, it messes with my sleep and my thoughts. I just have a playback of the thing happening over and over. So I remember laying down and it just kept playing over and over at me getting hit by a car, and I'm just like, I could not sleep. I had bad anxiety, so I just stayed up. And my mom came home from work and she was trying to talk to me and stuff, and I was just acting mad strange and weird, and I think she felt that vibe, but she didn't think nothing of it. Now so fast forward, my mom is chilling and I'm chilling in my room, and a family friend calls. The same family friend that snitched on me in my coming out story video. She calls my mom and she's like, hey, how is she? And my mom was like, she's good, because my mom does not suspect anything. She didn't think anything happened. She's like, she's good. And the family friend is like, oh, because I heard she got hit by a car today. And my mom was like, oh no, she didn't get hit by a car. Another girl from the school got hit by a car, da 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 da. And my family friend like, oh really? Oh really? Somebody told me it was her. Interesting. And then they just moved on from the subject. So my mom came to me like, you got hit by a car, or did you tell me somebody else got hit by a car? And I'm like, oh, somebody else got hit by a car. And she like, okay. So so now that's like, she didn't think nothing of it. Fast forward, I tried to go to sleep at night, could not sleep. I had school the next day, could not sleep. It just kept playing back in my head. So around 1 o'clock in the morning, my mom gets a phone call, and it's Shanika's mom. And Shanika's mom is like, is she okay? And my mom was like, why is everybody calling me asking if she's okay? Like, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, I'm good. Shanika's mom continues to say, I'm coming to the house. Mind you, it's 1 in the morning. So my mom is like, why is Shanika's mom coming to the house? So Shanika's mom comes to the house at 1 in the morning, and Shanika's mom is like, Shanika's arm is dangling off. I went in her room just now and she's crying about pain. And I kept asking her, what's wrong with your arm? What's wrong with your arm? And she's not telling me. And she pulls the sheet back. Her arm is dangling off. It's swollen. She can't move it. And I kept asking her what happened. And she says, me and Robin got hit by a car today. So my mom was looking at me like, you got hit by a car today? And I'm like, I didn't know what to say. I don't know. So Shanika's mom was like, yes, they got hit by a car. They're so dumb. They got hit by a car and they trying to hide it from us. Like, why didn't y'all tell us? And I'm like, I didn't tell you because you told me not to go outside, and I'm not supposed to go outside, so I thought I was gonna get in trouble. And my mom was just looking at me like, are you slow? Like, if you got hurt, I would not be thinking about you being outside. My first concern would be in your health. Like, so my mom started asking me and filling me up, like, does this hurt? Like, are you okay? And I was telling her I didn't feel pain. I literally did not feel any pain. The only thing that was bothering me at the time was like me being traumatized, me being in shock, and having the scene replay over and over. I didn't feel any physical pain. So they took me to the hospital. Shaniqua's mom took her to the hospital, and we did x-rays and stuff. But I ended up doing a little bit of physical therapy, but overall I was fine. Shaniqua had to wear a sling. It was just crazy. It was like traumatic. I could not sleep for nights. I did not want to cross the street. Like, I did not want to cross the street without, like, I did not want to go. Literally, I did not want to go anywhere that required crossing the street if my parent wasn't going to be there. And even if the sign said to walk, I would give it a little bit of time before I started crossing. And we also went to the police. We went to the precinct and to file a report. My mom was going around asking the neighbors, like, did anyone see anyone get the license plate? Come to find out, the girl that hit us at the time, she was 21 and she wasn't paying attention when she was turning and accelerated too hard and ended up hitting us. And she had bad anxiety, which is why she flew the scene, because like I told you, it was so many people outside, but they were surrounding her car. So she said that she was scared that when she hit us, like, it seemed like everybody clearly cared about us because they knew us from the neighborhood. She said that she was getting the energy that they was about to jump her for hitting us. So that's why as soon as she got the opportunity to flee the scene, she fled the scene. But she drove herself to the police station and told them, like, oh, I hit 2 little girls on this street and this street, and like made a report on herself, so that it coincided with our report. And then, you know, after we got hit by a car, we went through all the legal process and so on and so forth. But anyways, that's the story about how I got hit by a car. Me and a friend got hit by a car. Moral of the story is, if your mama tell you don't go nowhere, don't go nowhere. Anytime your mama tell you don't go somewhere, it's something bad is bound to happen. Anytime I defied my mother and did something that she told me not to do, something bad always happens to me. So that's the moral of the story. Also, me and Shaniqua are currently not friends at all. There was a situation that happened, which I'm going to do another story time about Shaniqua and how we fell out as friends. It's probably going to be the story time after that. But yeah, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Leave me a comment below if you ever got hit by a car, ever been in a car accident, or ever defied your parents, and let me know how that went for you. Thank you for watching my video. Please subscribe. If you're not subscribed to this channel, you're watching this video, please subscribe. We're on the road to 10K. Right now we're at like 5.9, so we're on the road to 6K, then 7K, then 8K, then 9K, then 10K, period. And it doesn't stop there. We're only going one up and up, and when it's up, it's done.